It's official. The Israel-Hamas ceasefire is in effect, taking hold after Israel's government signed off on phase one of the Trump peace plan, which also calls for the rapid release of all hostages, living and dead, being held by Hamas. The 2025 Nobel Peace Prize goes to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. Democrats continue to block Senate approval of a short-term Republican spending bill would end the government shutdown, which is now in its 10th day. President Trump visits Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on Friday. He says he'll be meeting with troops there and will undergo a medical checkup, adding that he feels just fine. Early next week, the president hopes to visit the Middle East for an up-close look at the situation there as his peace plan advances. More details at srnnews.com.
If you are 65 or older, you know this. Inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and co-payments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus just makes sense. To learn more, give them a call. They're great to talk to. They'll offer to pray with you each time you call, too. Call now. 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Your home for Goodland High School athletics. Fort Hays Tech Northwest Tech Tiger basketball, the Denver Broncos, as well as the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer. You're listening to Goodland's Rocket 102.5, KKCI FM, Goodland Colby, an NWKS radio station.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales, just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
Convenience just got an upgrade. Farmers State Bank of Oakley is excited to announce the opening of our brand new ATM along Highway 40, right next to Sonic Drive-In. Whether you're grabbing a snack or on the go, you can quickly access your cash without the detour. It's banking made easy, right where you need it. Farmers State Bank of Oakley, member FDIC.
Coming to you with NWKS Radio News, I'm Connor Schuh. Today at 3 o'clock local time is Shaylin's Homecoming Parade. It's on Bird Avenue south of the high school. If you are in the area, go join to celebrate Shaylin's Homecoming. Also, this Saturday, Colby Fire Department is celebrating 100 years of service. That's right, 100 years with an ice cream social at the Colby Fire Department. That runs from 11 a.m. Central Time to 3 p.m. They'll also be providing tours of the firehouse and all of their fire trucks for interested parties. So, sounds like a lot of fun, and it's part of a packed weekend in this area. For these stories and more area news, go to nwksradio.net for more.
Areas of patchy fog to start the day west of Highway 83 will burn off by mid-morning, but afternoon skies will have some clouds with highs warming into the upper 70s and low 80s, and light north winds turning to the southeast, increasing 10 to 20 miles per hour, gusting to 25. Tonight remains cloudy and could see some widely scattered showers out along the Kansas, Colorado, Nebraska borders. Lows will be mild with the breezy southeasterly winds continuing in the upper 50s. Saturday and Sunday will continue to be unseasonably warm in the mid-80s with gusty south winds 25 to 45 miles per hour. A cold front arrives later on Sunday in the afternoon, but still looks to be lacking moisture with only a marginal chances for scattered storms. Saturday night's lows will be in the mid-50s, and Sunday nights will drop into the mid-30s and Monday's highs will feel like fall behind the front, only in the upper 50s to around 60. This meteorologist Chris Stromick in the NWKS Radio Weather Center.
Do you want to be part of the biggest holiday marketplace in the tri-state area? Sign up today to be a vendor at the NWKS Radio Christmas Marketplace, November 28th, 29th, and 30th. If you have a hometown-based business or like to sew, cook, make jewelry, or craft, this is the perfect place for you. Sign up today at nwksradio.net before the spots are gone. Again, that's nwksradio.net.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Are pests making your home or business uncomfortable? Call Pest Away in Goodland, Kansas, serving all of Northwest Kansas. They provide top-notch pest control services to keep your space safe and pest-free. From ants to rodents, termites to spiders, our expert team is here to help with effective, safe, and affordable pest control solutions. Don't wait. Call Pest Away today at 785-728-7166 for fast, reliable service. Your home or business deserves the best protection.
This fall, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware has everything you could need. Keep your lawn strong with Ultimate Winterizer, the best defense before the frost. Warm up your evenings and create memories with a new fire pit. Or bring home the flavor with a great selection of grills and smokers from brands like Traeger, Blackstone, Green Egg, and more. And right now, the lumber prices are low, and so are the temperatures, making it the best season to tackle those outdoor projects. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby. Open every day but Sunday.
Need a porta potty or septic pumping in Northwest Kansas? Call Topside Portables and Pumping, your local family-owned crew. They've got clean, reliable toilets for weddings, farms, and job sites, plus full septic services, RV waste, fertilizer tanks, and more. Available 24/7, because when nature calls, they answer. Call 785-728-8089. That's 728-8089. Topside Portables and Pumping. Reliable, local, clean.
Looking for insurance that actually puts you first? At the insurance agency in downtown Goodland, we're independent, which means we work for you. Whether it's auto, home, crop, or business, we shop top carriers to get you the best coverage at the best price. No pushy sales. Just honest advice from people who live right here in your community. Give us a call today at 785-899-5011 or stop by 1020 Main in Goodland and let's get you covered. The Insurance Agency. Insurance the way it should be.
This is Caleb Morris with the Crop Insurance Department at Farm Credit of Western Kansas with some friendly reminders for the 2025 crop year. December 1st is the sales closing date for pasture, range, and forage insurance. December 15th is the acreage reporting deadline for 2025 winter wheat in Kansas. Remember, any possible loss should be reported within 72 hours of discovery. Contact Kelly or myself at 785-462-6714 for all your crop insurance needs. Work with agents who work for you. Farm Credit of Western Kansas is an equal opportunity provider.
You ready? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
The amount of money getting thrown around to quarterbacks who haven't done diddly squat is amazing to me.
And Connor Schuh.
He's the new guy.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and video streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He's at the 10, the 5, he dives for the end zone, he's in! Touchdown, Cowboys!
To the pros.
Line drive, left field, base hit! Here comes McMahon, he'll score! Ball game!
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with
Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell, the Insurance Agency, Pest Away LLC, Topside Portables and Pumping, and the Farmer State Bank in Oakley.
Let's go to work. Hap with a drive, right field, way back there, gone! More first inning fireworks. Ian Happ takes Freddie Peralta deep for the second time in the series. and the Cubs lead 3-0.
Empty set, snap goes to Dart. He climbs the pocket, now works left, back to his right, loads of time. He flings it right. It's caught by Robinson. Breaking the tackle, right sideline to the 10, to the 5, in for a touchdown. Dart under center, takes the snap, hands it for Scattaboo, grinding forward toward the end zone. Scattaboo is in. Touchdown, New York.
Hess breaks his back. Kirkring gotta find it. Throws to the plate. Oh my goodness! He throws it away, and the Dodgers have won.
What a fun night it was in the world of sports. Good Friday morning, everybody. October the 10th, off and rolling here on the Morning Blitz. Ross Volkmer and Connor Schuh. If you're joining us on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream, you can see that we are both in the same studio. It is rare, but because of the power outages in Colby, Connor decided to get up this morning and make the trek over here to Goodland. Welcome to the top side of Kansas, my friend.
It's good to be
First time visiting, obviously, I'm guessing?
Second
time.
Oh,
that's right. Second time that you've been here. But nonetheless, welcome and appreciate you making the way. So Connor sacrificed his time to come over here. He did what I kind of thought he would do. I didn't want to assume. I thought he probably put in he didn't text me like, where's the studio at? He just said I Googled it and he went to the old building, which I'm sure that was like, this can't be it.
That was the address that was on Google Maps. And
right. Yes.
I just figured that was it. And I got there. I'm like, that's not the building.
No, it's not the building, but it is. We are now in this new location within, it's coming up about a year. I think it was around early November. Around the first week in November that we transitioned over to this building. Mm-hmm. So he made it here just in the nick of time, and we're with you here for the next hour here on Goodland's Rocket 1025, NWKSradio.net, and the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream. We got lots to get to in today's program. We'll talk some high school football. We'll talk some other local high school sports as well. Busy sports weekend on tap. We'll get to the weekend slate, make our picks of the weekend. We're going to do something new today, too. We're going to something called, I'm going to start calling, Where Are You Going? That's what I'm calling it, and we'll describe the parameters of where you're going when we get to that segment. So even Connor doesn't know. I'm keeping him on edge.
Guess we'll find out. Yeah.
Don't worry. I think it's not going to make your brain hurt too hard, I don't think. But
okay.
Nonetheless, fun night last night in the NFL. I was watching Thursday Night Football with the Giants beating the Eagles 34-17. The defending world champs have now dropped 2 in a row. And I tell you what, I think I have a new man crush. Cam Scattaboo. I mean, I liked Cam in college, but I love him even more now in the NFL. That is
he's a baller.
That is my guy right there. My goodness. I had fun watching
3 touchdowns last night?
3 touchdowns last night. That's the type of guy I want in the backfield running the ball. Just a bowling ball. Just has, just absolutely loves contact.
Oh, yeah.
There's this great graphic on social media that his mom said, when he was younger, he would put on his older brother's football pads and then go run into telephone poles, which I love. That's what we need. We need more guys that run into telephone poles.
Reckless abandon. He just doesn't care. I love it.
Oh my! So that was the highlight of my night, was watching Cam Scattaboo. I don't know. Do you watch the post game show on Thursday night, TNF post game?
I think I was asleep.
Oh my gosh, I watched that. I don't know why, but I'm up and I have to watch that because it is honestly very entertaining. And they had him and Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he dared Ryan Fitzpatrick rip off his shirt again, and they did. And there was a hairy chested chest bump. Oh god, it was great. It was so wonderful.
That's fun, man.
It was so much fun last night on TNF Nightcap. I got to give Thursday Night Football a lot of credit. When it initially started out, first year, I remember watching the first broadcast of it, and I was kind of like, you can definitely tell this is the first. But over the course of time, they have figured things out, and they really do have a high-quality broad telecast, high-quality, pre-halftime and post-game. And Al Michaels is still swinging the bat, but it's that's probably the one weak link of the whole broadcast.
I was going to say, it's time. I think it's time for him to wrap it up. He's a legend, but it's time.
Think about it. He called the legendary Miracle on Ice.
Think about how long ago that was.
1980. It's a long time ago. So I know it's nuts to think about, but yeah, I'm with you 100% on that. So anyway, what did you watch last night? Did you watch the Dodgers with the walk-off win? That was hard for this is a hard night for a Phillies fan.
Yeah, it is. And one of my best friends from this past summer is a Phillies fan. And he was just, he was going through it. I mean, I watched the end of that and I texted him immediately. I couldn't believe that he threw home. I mean, he must have just lost track of the outs or something because there was more than enough time for him to throw to first.
Yeah, it was not good. Went home and threw the ball way over the head of the catcher, and the Dodgers walk it off. I'm not saying that Philadelphia was going to come back from that 2-0 deal, but that was brutal. That's a brutal way to end the season. Great year, though, for my boy, Kyle Schwarber.
Yes.
I'm a huge Kyle Schwarber fan. He was fantastic this whole season. So
50 bombs.
And he was such a dude. That one he hit 2 nights ago, that thing was unbelievable. I've seen him do that.
Yeah.
I tell my story of I saw him when he played in college at the University of Indiana. And Indiana was really, really good that year. I think they made it all the way to the CWS is where they went, which is rare for a Big Ten team to do.
Correct.
Very rare. But Indiana made it that year, and him and there was another Sam something. I forget his name. He was one of the first. They had 2 very, very good players. Very good players. And he was one of them, and he was taking on Nebraska in Nebraska at the Big Ten Tournament Championship game, which was a complete full stadium for the Big Ten baseball tournament, which, as we both know, that never happens. No. But it was a complete loaded deal. But Schwarber was there, and he hit a ball in a ballpark in a time. This was before they lowered the laces and all that stuff. He hit a ball so far that I just still don't think it's landed yet. I mean, it almost one-hopped out of the whole place going towards the south where the wind blows in from the south. It was just an absolute Titanic
shot. I forget what they were called, but were they swinging those
composite?
Those bats? Yeah, the composite.
Well, they still are on composite bats.
But they had it was around that time frame. There was a specific bat that was deemed illegal, and they had to take it out of college
baseball.
I'm
not for sure on what it is. Right now, I'm pretty sure what they swing are called composite bats is what they are. Whatever they've done the last 3 years, they have figured it out. It used to be where they called it gorilla ball with those great, wonderful aluminum bats that I grew up with, which were awesome. Love those things. Miss them. But they made up for, there you go. There's the Cam Skipper ripping off the shirt with the right.
Let's see that.
There you go. Here you go.
Oh,
you
that's
ready?
Incredible.
Here we go.
I wish you guys could see that.
You know what? They could have on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream because the TV is behind your head, so they can see the Cam Skipper.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There you go. So you can see it. Yeah, there you go. This is wonderful television. This is great.
And Jackson Dart's there.
Jackson Dart was there. He was fantastic. Last night, he was really good. Oh, gosh. I love these guys. Too much fun. Nonetheless, a lot of, like I said, a lot of fun last night on Thursday Night Football. But we got to get moving along here. As always, FB Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222. If you'd like to be part of the show, let us know. Jared says he's listening all day long to Al Michaels because he's better than Chris Collinsworth. Okay, here's the deal, Jared L. Here's the deal because we have a Jared H and Jared L. Jared L., here's the deal. Al Michaels is play-by-play. Chris Collinsworth is color.
I was about to say the same thing.
It's different. It's different stuff.
Collinsworth's better at color than Michaels is at play-by-play right now, too.
Oh.
If you had to make that comparison. People hate on Chris, and I think he's a lot of fun.
Chris is good. I have nothing against Chris. I think he's perfectly fine. Al Michaels is definitely slipping. I'm not a big Gus Johnson fan, as I've said before, so I like my certain people. But nonetheless, lots to get to on the program today, as I said, but we got to get into our local sports from yesterday. Quickly, some volleyball from last night. I saw that last night in Colby at the event center, the Lady Eagles picking up 2 more wins. It was a slow start for Colby volleyball, but they earned a pair of wins. They swept both Goodland and Scott City. Colby's now 2-0 against the Cowgirls, and more on that in just a minute. But Goodland beat Scott in the other match of the evening. Hoxie split their 2 matches in Waukene last night. They lost to to Phillipsburg in straight sets, but swept Trigo. And Oakley, they remain unbeaten. They're 28-0. They beat Smith Center last night in a 4-setter. So those are some volleyball results from last night. I wanted to quickly dive into, not dive into, but just kind of skim the pages of postseason volleyball, because volleyball postseason is going to begin a week from this coming Monday is when volleyball postseason begins. And so I went back and had to refresh myself of the new postseason format for volleyball here in the state of Kansas. And I went diving through there and come to find out, once I read it again, it refreshed my memory. But it was one of those deals I forgot how it worked. So the big thing is there's 4 regionals And in each 4 regionals, the top 4 teams get to host a big quadrangular. So the big thing is, if you can finish in the top 4 of your respected regional, you don't have to travel anywhere. It's a huge deal.
It's not bad.
And so from the perspective of one local team, for sure, in Goodland that we talk about quite a bit on the show, they're right on the bubble. They are the number 4 seed in the 3A4 regional, or regional number 4. They are the 4 seed. And they are right there by about a game or so, a match or so, is all they have ahead of Ellsworth and Beloit, who's probably 2 games back of Goodland. But that's the thing that the Cat, like losing that match to Colby, and you've lost 2 matches to Colby, a team that at least record-wise you are better than, but you have not beaten them on the floor. Credit to Colby for all that. But now you're kind of you're slipping a little bit and could be possibly losing that chance to host. And it's going to be a lot nicer to get to be at home for those first matches rather than have to travel all the way to central Kansas where you have to take on Ellsworth or Beloit.
Yeah.
That's going to be the thing. And so there are some huge matches coming up this weekend with the GWAC tournament is one of them. That's a tournament weekend. So you got Western Kansas League Tournament in Colby, Northwest Kansas League Tournament in Wallace County at Sharon Springs, Wallace County. The Mid-Conda League is happening in Hayes at Hayes TMP. And the GWAC tournament happening down in Cimarron. And so it's a humongous weekend for everybody because these are, 5, 6, there's 4 or 5 matches that you're going to get this weekend that you need to find a way as many, in the case of anybody, particularly in the fact of Goodland, you've got to win as many of those as you possibly can to help solidify your spot and staying home. Otherwise, you're going on the road. You're going on the road at this point in time. The 4 and the 5 go to the same spot. So I always look as though if Goodland were to win, Ellsworth have to come to Goodland. If Goodland were to drop that spot right now, then they'd have to go to Ellsworth. And I thought it was funny because, it's based upon certain seeds. So it's like the 4, 5, the 12, and the 13 go to the same spot. And yesterday, before all the action, it was Goodland hosting Ellsworth, Colby, and Scott City.
Of course.
Because that's how it works. So, and once again, it's same thing for Colby and anybody else. If you win this weekend in the tournament, pick up a couple of wins, you move yourself up the board a little bit to help present your better position for a chance to have a successful postseason. So very interesting to see how it all plays out this weekend because there's a lot of matches to be played. What do the records look like after that? Can Goodland hold on to this top 4 spot when it's all said and done? They also have a very tough match coming up here on Tuesday at home against Oakley. Oakley comes to town. As we know, they're unbeaten. So there's some big matches down the stretch if Goodland wants to hold on to hosting in that first round. So just wanted to highlight that point here on volleyball real quickly. Cross country real quickly. Hoxie boys and girls taking runners up at the Mid-Con League cross country title yesterday. Shout out to them. Oakley boys finishing in 3rd. There's girls regional tennis today, happening today and tomorrow. Are you much of a tennis guy? Have you ever picked up a racket in your life?
I actually have because my mom played tennis in high school.
See,
so
that computes to me.
Play some pickup tennis every now and again.
Have you ever played your mom?
Yes.
Have you beaten your mom?
Yes.
Sandy, get in here. We need you now. But anyway, Colby and Goodland head to McPherson for regional tennis today. Another 3 through 1A schools like Greeley County, Norton, they're going to Trigo for that today as well. Okay, it's also, of course, a very busy day in high school football, and we have some big-time matchups happening here tonight. I want to roll through some of these. First and foremost, in the GWAC, a huge game tonight between Scott City and Holcomb.
Yes.
A big rivalry game. I don't want to say the top spot is on the line because Scott City lost to Hugoton on a last-second play.
Off.
Yeah, got walked off last Friday. So the league title is not on the line per se, but Scott City Holcomb is always a big-time game, and that should be another fun one here tonight. Weskin at Golden Plains, going into the season, Weskin, the repeat champions of the defending champions of 6-man football. And Golden Plains had a really good year last year, kind of stumbled a couple games this season, but has kind of found their footing again. That could be a huge game, and those are 2 coaches and Coach Smith. Now, of course, I'm losing my mind here. Good Lord. I don't know why I'm forgetting my good friend at Weskin. I'll come up perhaps his name here in just a little bit, but I'm thinking about it too much. But the 2 coaches there at Weskin and Golden Plains do a phenomenal job, and that'll be an interesting game there up in Rexford. Wallace County takes on Stanton County. I'm guessing the Wildcats of Wallace County are going to get to what it would be 6-0, but Stanton County is 4-0. They have not lost, so it's a battle of unbeatens at this point in time. Brett Clow, there we go. Brett Clow and Travis Smith, the 2 coaches for Weskin and Golden Plains. I knew it would get to my head. And then the battle for the yoke.
Mm.
Between Rollins County and St. Francis. You know, a yoke, it's the thing that you put across the back of a cow. That's right. It's the battle for the yoke.
I was unfamiliar of the, I guess, rivalry name.
Oh, great. I love it. That's why I love it. It happens in Rollins. It happens there in Atwood in what their stadium is called Massacre Canyon, which I think is great.
Geez.
So
Nice.
I love all the things about that rivalry between Rollins County and St. Francis tonight. So those two teams will battle for the yoke. And then it's the 105th, if my stats serve me correctly, the 105th meeting between the Goodland Cowboys and the Colby Eagles here tonight. So a big rivalry there game. And I want to dive more deeper into this game because to me, this game is fascinating because, you know, last year both teams came into this game. I was looking at, they were 4-1. Both teams went into this game at 4-1, and Goodland ended up taking care of Colby pretty easily. In most previous years, Colby's had the better record against Goodland. But for some reason, you know, both teams I think are dealing with some injuries. Both teams are dealing with all kinds of stuff, and I feel like it's going to be a very entertaining type of football game tonight. What are you hearing on the Colby side?
I think things are looking up right now because the word is that they're way healthier this week than last week. Probably the most banged up they'd been all season against Holcomb, but now it seems like they're kind of getting their feet back under them, and you might see some guys who you didn't see last week. So I think that alone just bodes well for Colby. And it seems like, of course, you hear coaches talk about culture all the time, and it's always good, and you always hear the same stuff. But it seems like everything I hear from Coach Ryan Mosier is that the guys just keep getting closer and closer every week, and it seems like they're well connected and they're pretty excited for the game, is what it sounds like.
I'm sure. I mean, they kind of did it the right, but is as bad as this can sound, but they did this the right way. They said, all right, we probably don't stand a great chance of beating Holcomb. So let's just rest the guys that are dinged up.
I don't know if it was a rest, but
let's just say it. I mean, let's get our guys healthy for Colby. How else do you want to put it? Or get our guys healthy for Goodland.
No comment. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying that's what they did, but it makes sense to me. You know,
Holcomb is Holcomb.
What did you think about in that Holcomb game? Because they played a lot of second string guys.
Yes.
You know, they have second string quarterback Neil Morrison got the start there. They played a lot of other backup guys. What did you think about their performances? Because I thought watching the film and visiting with Coach Ryan Mosier about it, he really liked what they did. And you know, I just compute my mind. Well, if you like what those backups did and you add in your starters, you got to feel pretty good about going forward this season, building the depth that you have built.
Absolutely. I mean, Morrison was really the guy I think Coach was especially talking about because he really impressed last week and threw a couple of touchdowns and that was his first varsity start at quarterback. And he looked like he had at least had a full season under his belt. He looked poised in the pocket, wasn't afraid to throw on the run, and made some pretty tough throws. So he looked better than I think anyone could have expected a guy in his first start to look. So you can't be more happy for him. And then Brady Wiedemann, a guy making his first start at receiver, he caught a touchdown too. So I think it was all around a good day for the guys who were kind of getting their first real chance as starters.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Does Maxon Smiley need to be concerned about his job security?
Oh my God. Quarterback controversy and what are we doing? No, I'm sure he's just fine, but we'll leave that stuff for college and pros.
But anyway, so Colby Goodland tonight, the Cowboys going to be a little lighter up front. Going to have to make some changes on the offensive and defensive lines, but we'll see how that all pans out. They're working on some things there. But they're they're healthy everywhere else, and that's a good thing. The big storyline for me in the Cowboys has been turnovers. That's been the biggest thing. You know, through the first 3 games, the Cowboys were in a great spot in turnover margin. They were plus whatever it was. They were really, really good. And now it helped, of course, they took on Southwestern Heights, who committed 4 of them. So, you know, it helps when that happens. But the Cowboys against Holcomb had 5 turnovers against Holcomb, and then had another 2 against Ulysses. I mean, they're -4 in turnover margin the last couple of games. So I think they've had 7 turnovers the last
2 weeks.
7 turnovers the last 2 weeks. So Can they protect the football? That's going to be a huge thing tonight. Can they keep that football possessed? They have proven that they can run the football better than they have in recent years. And I'm intrigued to see who wins this battle up front, because I don't think either team's offensive and defensive lines are really juggernauts, to say the very least. So which team can win that line of scrimmage will be very, very big tonight. And then defensively, you got to be able to defend the deep pass, because that's what Colby loves to do. So you have to be sound in your coverage deep, which I like the Cowboys in that they've got a couple of cornerbacks that are pretty experienced and have been pretty darn good in coverage. And so I like that. I like that matchup for them, but you just don't know.
Probably not going to expect a lot of press.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. But then that thing is you got to come up and make tackles when they run the short stuff. And, and that's always an area that sometimes Goodland struggles with. But I don't know. I think the game tonight will be a fascinating one. I was looking at the Massey ratings for it. I think Goodland is favored to win, but at the same time, you never know. You never know. They predict a very high scoring game in this.
Really
Goodland game. I think that's what I saw. I'm going to double check.
I have it up right now. Let me see if I can scroll down to it, because I have the page open, but there's so many.
Let's see here. Yes, they are 38-27. The protected score, or the projected score. I think that is way too high. I think we're going to see a much more lower scoring game tonight.
I think so.
That's my thing here. But 10.5 point spread. It's one of the closer games in the state. Do you ever go through and look at the spreads?
Yeah,
the margin of victories.
Ridiculous. You
it's
see like
3-4 touchdowns.
You see 33, 30. I'm like going through it right now. 46.5.
46.
One team is projected to shut out a team 47-0. Hanover at Wakefield.
Oh my, poor Wakefield.
Yeah, that's awful. Oh God, 0% chance to win. That's not fair.
Yeah. It's a very, very. There's no chance they're not winning this game. Like Centralia and Horton, there's a 0% chance Horton wins this game, or 0% chance that Braxter Springs beats Frontenac. It is interesting to go through this stuff at the Massey ratings. But anyway, coverage tonight of Goodland and Colby. You can hear Connor on 100 Through the Ride, myself on Goodland's Rocket 1025 for the 105th rendition of the Colby Goodland rivalry. And like I said, I expect it to be a pretty competitive game tonight. It's going to come down to a couple of key plays and a couple of just a key possessions, a couple of key plays that's going to probably decide this game here tonight in Colby at Denon Field. So before we get to our first break, we're at 7:33 Mountain, 8:33 Central Time. Appreciate everybody tuning in. I want to get to a couple other things on the weekend slate here. We'll get to the full weekend slate coming in just a minute, but a couple other things coming up on the local sports side of things. Colby Community College Volleyball Saturday plays host to Hutch. And then Fort Hays Tech Northwest and Colby Community College Cross Country are back running this weekend. Fort Hays Tech Northwest at the Colorado Springs Cross Country Open, and Colby Community College heads to the Fort Hays State Tiger Open in Hays on Saturday. So it's a busy weekend, as it usually is. Very, very busy weekend, and it all gets going tonight with some high school football and a little bit of volleyball. Weskin does play at Golden Plains for volleyball tonight as well. So plenty of local sports on the docket for this evening and this weekend. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we are going to dive into the weekend slate. We'll look ahead at what's ahead for college and professional football in our region. You're listening to the Morning Blitz.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
We've been serving ag families for generations because we believe farming isn't just a job, it's a legacy. Whether you're just starting out or expanding your operation, F&B Bank has flexible lending solutions designed for you. This is Loan Officer Kennedy Frank at F&B Bank. We're proud to be your hometown ag lender, member FDIC.
It's time now for news from the world of agriculture on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
For the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network, I'm Addison Stoddard. Details are scarce, decisions aren't final, and the shutdown is slowing a farm aid package the White House is trying to assemble. The White House was putting together the farm aid package that President Trump said Monday he'd talk about this week. Then the shutdown of U.S. politics appointees took the sails out of Tuesday's announcement, leaving the timing uncertain. Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley.
All we hear is from the administration on 10 to 14 billion dollars, so the final figure hasn't even been agreed upon. And then there's only $4 billion in the CCC.
The same fund that the USDA used during President Trump's first-term trade war with China. Grassley says he spoke with cabinet officials on how to make up the difference.
And they said there'd have to be 2 tranches of it, some of it coming from money available right now, and then the fund would have to be supplemented by the Congress of the United States.
Also giving lawmakers a chance to boost farm income with nationwide year-round E15 legislation.
This would generate $25 billion in new economic activity, and roughly $10 billion of that is directly from increased corn demand. Another thing Congress can do is increase transparency in input markets, and my Fertilizer Research Act would help do that.
But Grassley agreed that the White House should move faster to stem another farm crisis. That after it announced an emergency move to use tariff revenue to keep the WIC nutrition program alive during the shutdown. For the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network, I'm Addison Stoddard.
When you're an expert on soil and crops, you're a soil scientist. When you're an expert on the weather, you're a meteorologist. And when you're an expert on soybeans, you are an Asgrow farmer. Like you, Asgrow brand is relentlessly focused on soybeans with localized products featuring leading genetics and weed management systems. It all works together to give you maximum profit potential. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices. For some farmers, soybeans are on their mind 24/7. If you're all about the beans, then Asgrow brand is all about you. That's why we've dedicated ourselves to developing truly localized products. Products with leading genetics and top-tier weed management. Products that maximize the profit potential on every acre you've got. If you're serious about soybeans, and we're serious about your success. Visit Asgrow.com. It's all about the beans. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
Miss the weekend action?
Yes, you caught me.
No worries. We've got all the highlights and lowlights covered.
Hey, okay, well, catch me up.
This is the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
All right, we continue on a Friday show here on October the 10th. Going to be a nice day today. Temperatures in the mid-70s. Right now sitting at 52 degrees outside the KKCI studio. So, you had to come over here because the power outages, did you have power when you got up and got ready this morning, or how did that all work?
I did for most of it. I was able to eat breakfast.
You were able to get
in
your
the
6
light.
eggs in.
And
Or sorry,
then-
it's down to 5.
Yeah, yes, sir. Well, 5, 6 depends on the day. So, but then I'm about to brush my teeth, and then everything cuts off. I'm like, great, it's nice, but phone flashlight came in handy.
There you go. Yeah, sure. Thank God for those phone flashlights. That's for sure.
Yeah.
A couple people here on the text line want to get in our thoughts on apparently Al Michaels. Jared H. chiming in. He goes, as a Chiefs fan, I'd rather hear Michaels and Collinsworth than Aikman and Buck. I'm not a Collinsworth fan, is what he says. Yeah, everyone has their preferences. There's no doubt about that. That is for sure here. Let's see. And then we have some questions I think we're going to answer here in this next segment. But this is coming from an unnamed texter who wants to know, who do Ross and Connor have picked to win the Brewers-Cubs Game 5 over the weekend? Along with the KU Tech game, K-State, Nebraska on the road, do they get wins and get ranked? Does Nebraska on the road get ranked and get a win and get ranked? So we'll answer all those questions, texter, here coming up. In fact, do you want to dive into Cubs-Brewers real quickly before you get to the weekend slate? What do you think?
Why not?
On that? I'm sorry. This is too perfect, but the ghost of Bob Uecker will make an appearance.
I think I'm with you there. I mean, the Cubs they're obviously making a push. I mean, won last night. Now they push to a Game 5, of course, but I don't know. The Brewers, of course, you said it. They have the magic of Bob Uecker following them right now. And I think, I don't know, their pitching's just too good. I think they're going to make it work.
So the offense apparently has to get owned, or they can't hit in Chicago, one of the two.
Yeah, that's the issue. I mean, Christian Yelich kind of disappeared last night, and you need him to do some stuff. But their thing all year was kind of going down the line, like everyone would contribute. And last night, not everyone really contributed.
Right. Let's get into the weekend slate here. So coming up this weekend, it's a full weekend. KU, K-State, Nebraska, Colorado, both the Chiefs and Broncos. Everybody's in action. So we'll have a full weekend slate of sports here on your family of radio stations on NWKS Radio. Starting in college football Saturday, we'll get to the early games first, or the early game first, which is no one plays in the morning. Everyone has an afternoon slot or later. And it's a big day for the state of Kansas because you're not on ESPN Plus. You're not even on ESPN. You're on the big one. You're on the Fox. You're on the FOX. Both K-State and Kansas play on Fox consecutively. K-State will host TCU at 2:30, and followed by Kansas going to ninth-ranked Texas Tech in the evening night game at 6:30 Central Time. Also this weekend, Nebraska visits Maryland, and Colorado hosts Iowa State. Of those games, which one intrigues you the most, and why so?
I think it's absolutely K-State and TCU, just because I know K-State's 2-4 right now, but, they give me the vibe like the Kansas team last year. Lose a lot of close games, but they make that late season, well, not really a push because they didn't even make a bowl game, but they rattled off a couple of ranked wins, and they always seemed like they were in it, and they weren't as bad as their record suggested, and I think that's kind of where we're at with K-State. They haven't really been out of a football game yet this year. And you see the line, it's only 1.5.
That line is amazing to me.
Yeah. And it's at K-State, but still TCU, probably a better football team, favored by only 1.5. I think that's going to be a lot of fun because, the hopes for postseason are kind of done for K-State. Maybe a bowl game at this point.
That would be postseason. But they're going to have to win. They're going to have to win. I'm not saying they have to win this game for sure, but their backs are getting to be pretty close against the wall here when it comes to winning.
Yeah, but I think they can. Well, I guess I'll make my first pick. I think they could win this one. Honestly, TCU, Josh Hoover has been up and down in the past couple of weeks. He had that stinker against Arizona State, but he's probably going to want some stuff back here against K-State and try to get right with his Horned Frogs. We'll see, though. I really liked what I saw from Avery Johnson and everyone last week. He looked good as a passer, especially, I think. Obviously, the big thing is letting him go in the run game, but that deep ball he had to Jace Brown that maybe could have been a touchdown, but his helmet got ripped off. That was a beautiful ball. So more of that.
The big thing is this is 1.5 point spread at this point in time in this game, and K-State has had a hard time closing out those games this season. 1-4 in one possession games this year. So that doesn't bode well. I think it will be a low scoring game. I think actually we could see we might see less point. I think the defenses find a way to have good games. The over-under is at 48.5, so it's not a lot. So it could be a lower scoring game, but K-State hosting TCU. I am fascinated to see if K-State's pass defense can slow down Josh Hoover. That will be a big thing for me. That will be a big part of me. Kansas at Texas Tech to me is interesting because I think you look at this game and Kansas loves to run the football, but that's one of Texas Tech's strengths is they're really good at stopping the run. So can they throw the football? I think they can. A big issue is that Texas Tech has got a really dynamic offense and they love to throw the ball, and Kansas has a couple of cornerbacks that are out with injuries. Not a good combination there. But I keep going with Kansas has covered 6 straight games against top 10 teams. They have covered. That means they won. 14.5 points is a big spread to cover.
Thought that was a little big.
So, I think Kansas gives Texas Tech a run for their money. I really do think they give them a run for their money. It's the first Big 12 home opener for Texas Tech as a top 10 team since they did it in 2013. I'm guessing that was Graham Harrell. Golly, was it that long?
I think that was a little after Graham Harrell.
That's maybe even after that.
That was like, I can't remember the guy between him and Mahomes. Well,
I don't know either. I'd have to look up the listing of quarterbacks. But BJ Kinney, I have no idea who BJ Kinney.
Wow.
JG Kinney. I'm not for sure what that guy's name. But anyway, GJ. I don't
yeah.
know for sure. Nonetheless, Kansas, Texas Tech fascinates me, and it's a great opportunity for the Wheat State college football programs to showcase on the big time Fox. That's for sure. The other games of the weekend, you've got Nebraska going to Maryland. That is a 2:30 Central Time kick. You can watch it on BT, and it's been funny to watch the line. It opened up at like 3.5, 4. It jumped to 7. It's now down to 6.5 in favor of Nebraska. To me, this game is fascinating because you have the two. Maryland loves to throw the ball. They are the worst rushing team in the Big Ten. They don't really love to run the football, nor can they do it very well. But they have a freshman quarterback in Malik Washington, and they've got a good core of wide receivers, and they love to throw the ball. But you know what Nebraska is? The best passing defense in the nation. Not even 100 yards a game on average do they allow passing. So what gives in this scenario? That's an advantage to Nebraska, in my opinion. But then I look at Nebraska and their offensive line problems they've had going against a young and talented defensive line for Maryland. I don't know. This game could be intriguing.
I agree. In my opinion, I think the Nebraska pass defense wins that battle, especially with Washington. As good as he is, being so inexperienced, I think he'll still put up some numbers, but I think it's going to be a little bend don't break for Nebraska, and I think they're going to be able to hold it down a little bit.
The biggest thing, if Nebraska's offense can get the run game going, I don't know if Maryland. I watched Maryland play the Washington game. I love watching the Big Ten and 60 stuff. I love those. Those are awesome. And so I was watching the Maryland Washington. I mean, Washington could not do anything, and they have one of the best running backs in the nation. And they just could not do anything for pretty much 2.5 quarters before they finally figured something out. So I don't know. It's the pessimist Nebraska fan in me. I don't know what to expect.
Fair enough.
But I am interested to see who wins that battle between this passing offense that just has to pass it against a defense that is built to stop it. Really, really good elite there. And then a couple more games for here on the weekend slate. Colorado plays host to Iowa State. That's at 1:30 Mountain Time on ESPN. The biggest question I have, can Colorado take advantage of Iowa State's injuries? Because Iowa State has been absolutely, they started the year really good. We're looking like a Big 12 champion team. And then they just got plagued by injuries, particularly in the defensive secondary. Colorado loves to throw the ball. Can they take advantage of that? But boy, I think Iowa State is very motivated after losing to Cincinnati last week. I would be surprised if they dropped this game, I guess.
Yeah, because they were just playing from behind for most of that against Cincy, especially late. It seemed like they almost had a push in them, but not necessarily. But on the other side, Colorado, Caden Salter last week. Oof. 3 picks. I mean,
Are we going back to Staub?
Oh, God. I mean, I think it might just be a carousel for the rest of the year. I don't know if anyone's really working out in that Colorado quarterback room. And I think their ineptitude there might kind of just.
What do you make of the whole Colorado scenario? This year, Coach Prime has been dealing with more health issues. And the team has not had anywhere the type of swagger or type of success they had with Shadur under center. What do you think? What do you think Colorado looks like next year?
Oh, jeez.
I don't even know if Dion is there next year.
I mean,
don't know.
I wonder if he's even good enough to coach next year because he has cancer. I mean, and he's coaching through it. So props to him for.
Well, he had it
that.
removed. He had bladder
He did
cancer.
have
He had the bladder
removed.
removed. But I mean, he's had that. He's had more issues with his legs and blood, and I think it's
blood clots. A lot of blood
So
clots.
He's had some issues, and I know he's toughing it out, and that's great. But I don't know. I don't know, and I don't think the talent that they have is good enough to compete with the rest of the stuff. So I'm kind of curious. But ESPN will write the check to them. There's no doubt. And every time they're either on ESPN, they're never on the Plus. They're either on the big ESPN or Fox. They want that television audience.
They might not be a recruiting destination anymore, though. Even with Coach Prime, still, it's like, all right, he might be on his way out due to the health issues. So it's like, how badly do you really want to go to Colorado? So I don't know.
I'm fascinated to see how this season ends because I don't think it's in a great position to end well. And then what does it look like going into next year? And who's there at that point in time?
What if Julian Lewis leaves?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you're good enough, why aren't you playing now? It's not like as if Salter's been that great.
I feel like a lot of times you do have freshmen sitting, regardless of how good they are. That changed a little bit these days.
Good, I mean, let's see here. Dylan Raiola came in. He started right away. Malik Washington came in. He started right away.
But
Two
that's
quarterbacks.
no disrespect, but I feel like Nebraska and Maryland don't always have the biggest quarterback talent.
And you're saying Colorado does?
Caden Salter had a great year at Liberty last year, so they probably wanted to just give him a year to be the starter, and he was supposed to be a little bit more of a sound option. And then
money comes into that too.
He wasn't very good.
You don't want to spend a whole lot of money, a 6-7 figure number, and then not have that person play.
Correct.
You don't want to do that either. It comes into a big part, but I'll be fascinated to see what the rest of this year looks like for Colorado, because it's not looking good. It looks like a rocket ship one of the first rocket ships the U.S. tried to ever make. It got off the ground, but it came crashing back down. They just could not get it to go.
That is true.
The NFL real quickly here. Broncos, Jets. We got to get up early for this one. 7:30 a.m. Mountain Time. They're in jolly old London. I love the quote from Evan Ingram. He goes, "I'm just to take up a residency here. This is the 4th year in a row I've been." So, big thing to me is they need to avoid a trap game here. You're coming off a huge win against the Eagles, and you're taking on a Jets team that has been not good. I mean, they're still winless. But at the same time, do you have the focus to knock off the Jets, or do you have a slip up here?
I think they have the focus. It seems like they're pretty hungry, because even though they beat the Eagles, I feel like that's not going to look as good, especially after they lost to the Giants last night. So I feel like they might think they're not like an underdog by any means, but still a team that has stuff to prove.
Mhm.
Obviously, I mean, they didn't win a playoff game last year. So the idea is try to go as hard as you can through this regular season to put yourself in a good playoff position. So I don't think they're pulling any punches, especially with Sean Payton. He's not going to let them sit idly and lose this game.
I look for a big game this Sunday, but from either RJ Harvey or J.K. Dobbins, or both. The Jets defense is bad, particularly their run defense. I look for big days from those two guys in this contest. And then the big Sunday night game, Chiefs hosting the Lions, going to be on NBC or on 100.3 Ride. You can listen to this game. Chiefs have been great in one-score games in previous years, not this year. 0-3 in one-possession games this year. And my biggest question going into this game is, can that Chiefs defense slow down this Lions offense that is dynamic, both passing and running?
And
you talk about balance. This is the epitome of balance.
With Gibbs and Montgomery on the ground. And then, of course, you always got Amon-Ra doing his thing. And then Sam Laporte at tight end. He had a great week last week.
Really good tight end.
And then Jameson Williams has been a little bit up and down, but they still managed to get it done with kind of a committee of guys behind Amon-Ra and then Sam Laporta. So it's going to be a struggle for the Chiefs, especially in the trenches, because last week they just weren't really getting it done there, even with Chris Jones there and healthy. I mean, there was that play everyone looks back to. I'm pretty sure it was the Lawrence walk-off touchdown. Chris Jones maybe had a shot at it, but he didn't really hustle.
Yep.
And just couldn't make the play, and that allowed the Jags to win. So
he'll be motivated this week.
He's got to be. I mean, especially as a vet like that, you're a leader for your team. You got to go out there and play, man.
How far back against the wall are the Chiefs, or not at all?
There's not a lot of distance.
There's some pressure to win, I think. They got to win this thing.
This is their worst start with Mahomes yet, and this is probably the worst they've looked. Mahomes has still looked good, but as a full unit, they just don't really seem as much like a well-oiled machine as you typically expect from the Chiefs in the Andy Reid and Mahomes era, because usually they get it going by week 4 or 5. But this year, it still looks like there's a lot to work out. So I think there's some trouble there.
Yeah. So that is on Sunday Night Football, Chiefs hosting the Lions. All right, we're going to take our break. When we come back, we are going to we'll have a little fun and play Where Are You Going? We'll get to that next here on the Morning Blitz.
As we celebrate 4-H's 123-year history, what makes it so influential? My name is James Marquardt, and after a decade of being involved in 4-H, I believe that the people are the reason why 4-H is so beneficial. Whether it be the local extension agent, the community members, or the project leaders, it is the people that make 4-H worthwhile. So if you see someone who is a 4-H volunteer this week, thank them for the time that they have invested into this great organization.
Mo and Matt and Michaela Cows said M&M Supply continues with deals on Hustler mowers A good supply with discounts on some closeouts right now, different models, different sizes, financing available. They'll take your trade-ins. You know, they work on all types of different riding mowers, but they do carry Hustler mowers, Hustler parts. Hustler's made right here in Kansas, USA. They carry cordless DeWalt tools like DeWalt lodge edgers, chainsaws, trimmers, 20 or 60 watt. Yeah, they'll keep on growing, so you keep on mowing at M&M Supply, rural Edson, Kansas.
It's Truck Month at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland. Get behind the wheel of a brand new 2026 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 with 2.9% APR for 72 months. And if GMC's more your style, you're in luck. Drive home a 25 GMC Sierra Elevation with up to $7,000 in customer cash, or lock in 0.9% APR on a 26 GMC Sierra 1500. Whether it's power, performance, or pure style, Hurl Chevrolet GMC has the truck to match your drive. Visit hurlchev.com or stop by today in Goodland and make this Truck Month one to remember.
Celebrate the fall season at Grassroots Farms and Pumpkin Patch in Rollins County, where families gather, memories grow, and fall comes to life. Open Saturdays and Sundays from 10 to 6 with special events every single weekend at Grassroots Farms, your hometown destination for fall fun.
Want to be part of the Morning Blitz?
Sometime I'll give you a piece of my mind, like right now.
Send your thoughts to the F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222.
All right, we will get to our picks of the weekend here in just a little bit. Connor is adding them up in his head on our records, going through all that stuff at this point in time. I want to have a little fun. I thought of this one day because I kind of heard something similar to it a little bit on another radio show I was listening to one day. So just real quick, I don't have a lot of time. That's the best part about this quick little fun exercise. So you got to broadcast a game tonight. But let's say that you can get up tomorrow morning and you can go out to Schultz Field, in Colby, out to the airport there, and a private jet is going to pick you up and it's going to take you to any sporting event you want to go to this weekend. So we're going to start doing this every weekend, every Friday. Where are you going? So once again, this is carte blanche. It don't cost you a cent. You get to go to the game. You get to be there, all that stuff. And like you said, it's a private jet. They're taking you directly there and they're flying you back. So you're back to work on Monday. So I'm curious, where are you going in this weekend of sporting events?
I'm going to a city that is unfortunately actually really nice, but I'm going to Pittsburgh to watch the Steelers and the Browns play. I mean, come on. That is the Super Bowl for us every year, and we typically lose the Super Bowl, but I like our chances this year. Aaron Rodgers sucks, so I like that.
That'd be a nice one for Dylan Gabriel right out of the gate.
I think it's possible. He played well in London, so I have my hopes.
Let's see. If I'm getting a private jet from Renner Field here out in Goodland, I think it's one of two places. I'm either going to Eugene, Oregon for Indiana, Oregon, or I am going to Kansas City for Chiefs Lions. I just feel like those two games are going to be really, really good football games. So one of those two is where I'm going.
Good choices.
So I love those. I don't know. Like I said, it's carte blanche. And people, if you want to chime in the FB Bank text line at 785-899-2222, you can do that as well. Jared chiming in, talking about, let's see here, preseason. What was he going on here? Don't even know what he's talking about, the Chiefs and how much they suck. Jared just gets on these. Jared L just gets on these rampages all the time. So, all right, we got to get to the walk off. We're up against it. So let's get to the picks of the weekend.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off Brady? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes swings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
I love Steve from Binkelman. He goes, he's going to West Lafayette, Indiana to watch Husker volleyball take on
That's
Purdue.
A great match.
So
that's a really good match.
Steve from Binkelman. Good pull there, Steve. Jared says he's going to Broncos Jets in London is where Jared L said he'd be going to.
Well, that's not going to be a fun game.
Yeah. We'll see. All right, picks of the weekend. Let's see here where we will start off with Kansas State hosting TCU. You picked K-State to win, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna hold on to it.
Right, we're gonna have a chance. I'm taking TCU in the win. They cover the 1.5 point spread. KU 1-4 and one
TCU
possession
win
games.
or a cover?
I think it's 1.5 points. So I'm gonna have to say TCU wins.
Okay.
Kansas at Texas Tech. I've got the Jayhawks covering 14.5, big spread. They're 6 straight against top 10 teams they've covered. They do it again. Make it 7.
I say, do I want to go safe? Or do I want to go not safe? I'm going to say Kansas covers. I mean, 14.5 is a really, really big spread.
Nebraska at Maryland. I am going to take. I'm going to take Maryland to cover, but I think Nebraska wins. It's tight, but I think Nebraska wins. Maryland covers. I don't know. I can't trust it. Some people think Nebraska's going to blow the doors off them. I just don't see it.
I'm more of that belief, but not enough to say they're going to cover. I'll say Nebraska wins.
Colorado hosts Iowa State. Iowa State 2.5 point favorites. This is nuts. Iowa State wins by more than 2.5. Cover that.
Okay.
Broncos Jets. Denver 6.5 point favorites over and at. I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Denver covers and wins.
I agree.
Chiefs and Lions. This one's big. Kansas City 2.5 point favorite at home. I'm taking Detroit.
Lions cover.
Taking Detroit. So there you go. Don't forget, of course, tonight you've got Goodland Colby on the radio waves, 100 points to the ride, and Goodland's Rocket 1025. And, of course, the full weekend of all the sporting events. So make sure that you tune on in tonight and have yourself a great weekend. We'll see you back here on Monday. It's been the Blitz.
Classic rock plays here. This is Rocket 1025. KKCI, Goodland, Burlington.